This is how I made $1,000 a week with my business in the first 3 months. Here's the thing. Not everyone knows how to make content that makes them money. It's not just about posting pretty pictures and flashy videos. It's about posting the right types of content. Otherwise, you're just basically posting for the sake of posting, which is not a strategy, right? So here's the strategy that I use in order to get my first clients and eventually up to $1,000 a week within my business. At first, when I started, it was kind of super quick. Reason being is because I just got out of a sales job. I was basically doing Uber Eats for a matter of like 3 months, I would say. And then afterwards, I just decided that I needed to do something with my life other than just picking up food and dropping it off, or picking up people and dropping them off. I wasn't making any money, just like any other business within their first year, right? And within the beginning of the first year, I was like, dang, like how am I gonna get freaking clients, you know? I was basically making a bunch of different types of content for other people, different formats, different platforms, and nothing was sticking. But I learned a few things that mattered the most. So it's really just a basic equation. So focus plus value plus volume equals exponential growth. I'm gonna say that again. Focus plus value plus volume equals exponential growth. So let's start with the first one, focus, right? I knew that I wanted to start making content on one specific platform to see how it worked, and the one that would give me the most return of my investment. So I chose YouTube, right? Because first of all, it pays you the most via AdSense, and the potential of you doing a brand sponsorship is much higher on YouTube, especially if you have a really big following, right? So what I did was I basically posted 3 different shorts every single day, literally 9 in the morning, 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. and then 1 long form video every single week. So literally 3 posts going out every single day, which are short form, and then afterwards 1 long form video every single week. Does that make sense? So the main topic of my channel was actually music reactions, right? So I basically reacted to every single type of music, like literally any genre, from opera all the way to death metal, all the way to jazz, all the way to Christmas music. It was like a whole thing, and I was basically posting up to a point where I was getting long form videos once every single day, right, in addition to the shorts. And then I started to see like, oh dang, like this shit is actually working, like this stuff is actually working. Like, so I knew I wanted to get down on YouTube, right? So like I basically looked up some of the best music reaction channels, which was Anthony Fantano, which is one example. Another one was these 2 guys from Nevada. I forget their names right now, but they basically like popped off because they did a review of Metallica. It's these 2 African-American gentlemen. Lost in Nevada, it might have been. I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head, but I basically studied those guys mainly just to understand like what they were doing, and I just happened to notice a couple things. Not only doing music that they enjoyed, but on top of that, music that their audience enjoyed, right? So then, but then doing that at scale, right? So they would ask questions, like literally to the whole audience, being like, what do you want to watch? Like, what do you want us to react to? Like, this is Kendrick coming out with a new record, this, that, and whatever. Biggest thing was this, that they were just always pleasing the people, like essentially pleasing the people that always watch their channel, right? Which is awesome. And that's what you should be doing. And just with enough focus and enough research, you'll realize that every single YouTuber does this to some capacity, whether it be in food, whether it be in entertainment, whether it be in music, whether it be in how-to videos, tutorials about basic things that you'd want to do. It doesn't matter. They're always trying to cater to their audience, which as you should as a content creator. So that's exactly what I did initially, which is essentially focus, right? Just focus on YouTube and how I can provide the most value on YouTube, which we'll get into later. But the next thing is, the biggest characteristic though out of all these YouTubers that I saw that were doing music reaction channels was just the amount of sheer volume, the amount of sheer videos that they had on their channel in general. I was like, dang, you know, these guys have like over 500 videos, over 800 videos, this, that, and the third. And I was just like, dang, that's crazy. So in order to compete, I'm gonna have to do something where if I'm not doing double of what they're doing, probably the same capacity. Does that make sense? The next thing was, these guys, they basically came to their audience and was like, oh dang, like what do you guys want to see? And it turns out that they would ask questions within their community. They had Patreons, they had a bunch of different things that they could offer for audiences in order to opt in. What are they providing? Value, right? Because they're asking their audience, what do they want to see? Not only what they care to see, like just in general music that they like Kendrick Lamar, for example, was a regular topic on all these channels. But you'll see that in every single comment they'll be like, so what do you guys want to hear next? Leave it down in the comments. What do you guys want to hear next? Leave it down in the comments. Very simple, right? And you can do this on any single social media platform, right? And because you're asking your audience what they want, you're providing value to them, which then that increases engagement, that increases retention. And on top of that, there are more people showing up to see your stuff. And when more people show up to see your stuff, other people who have no idea who you are from the jump immediately see your channel on the recommended section or in a different platform, whether on suggested or whatever, and then eventually they tune in. A certain percentage of those people that happen to tune in become new subscribers, new followers, new people who buy our products or get into our communities, and we monetize their channels off of. So it's very important just to make sure to give value up front, especially by considering who your audience is, right? And I think I'm making a video about this pretty soon, about developing your client avatar, right? So for that music channel, basically was somebody who was almost like me, essentially a young guy who loves the different types of music, most likely a musician. If not a musician, musically inclined. They like a lot of different styles. They like rap, they like hip hop, they like R&B, they like death metal, they like all these different things, and open to other styles of music. So that's providing value. The next thing is just like, how can I provide value at scale? Because the one consideration that I happen to see all of these channels like go by is that they basically provided volume upon volume upon volume. I'm talking literally over 1,000 videos, long form, right? Forget about short form. There's like long form videos. The amount of sheer volume that they have done in order to develop their communities in general is astounding. So I was just like, dang, the only way that I can actually compete is by doing the same or multiplying that by 2 and doing more than everybody else. And that's exactly what I did. My strategy structure was like, okay, if I'm providing all the videos that people want to see, focusing on one specific platform, being YouTube, then I'm gonna have to figure out a volume schedule that I can actually commit to. So then I was like, all right, cool. If they're posting once a day, I'm posting 3 times a day. If they're posting no long form videos, I'm posting 1 every single week. Does that make sense? So basically got to the point where I was posting 3 short form videos every single day for 90 days. And then afterwards, 1 long form video in a week. But then I saw channels like Lost in Vegas or whatever channel those guys are, including Anthony Fantano. And then it became every day, like literally every day. It got to the point where I was posting long form pieces of content and short form pieces of content every single day. It was crazy. A lot of time dedication. You know, that's something that I want to develop, and that's what I want to develop with this channel. So that's why I'm making these videos. That's besides the point. It's like, once you understand which platform you want to operate on, and then on top of that, bring them the value that they want from you in general, whatever it is in your expertise or product or service or whatever it is in your business, then you have the option to develop a strategy that will definitely work. And volume always works. I don't care what anybody says, because at the end of the day, there is an expectation that happens with volume, is that the videos get consistently better. It's not like you're going to keep pushing out videos every single day and not care about improving them and then keep it pushing. And no, you're going to definitely look at your videos. You're going to be like, wow, this looks like shit. I'm going to have to like get a better camera, get a better lens, you know, maybe a better microphone, and make your videos that even better, so that way you can even compete with these people. Because even if they do half the amount of videos as you, they're still outperforming everything because they already developed a community. You have not. So then you have to compete in some way, right? By doing more. Does that make sense? So once I started seeing results, I moved this strategy over to TikTok and to Instagram, and lo and behold, it actually worked on there too. Then I thought, wait, I can sell this for sure. So then essentially that's how my business came about, Erroneous Media, mainly because I read a book by Alex Hormozi via the $100 Million series, and it was about creating a really great offer that nobody can refuse, and then on top of that, like ways in order to get more customers, right? And I was reading this book, The Power of Warm Outreach. I was able to get my business within that same first year, where I was trying to figure out what am I gonna do, from 0 to 6 figures, which is awesome. And I just realized that like my offer can be essentially what I did for myself, like literally the volume, the amount of like attention to detail, the quality of the videos, etc., 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 the development, to develop a community for other people and charge them for it. Does that make sense? I thought it would have been a really great idea. Now I actually have 10 businesses that I currently work with around the United States. We're looking to scale in the 2nd year. And if you're a business that actually needs help with social media in general, please send me a message, send me a comment, put it down below. I would love to get on an appointment to talk about how I could help you in some capacity. Anyway, here you just basically learned on how I got to $1,000 a week just within the first 3 months of operating my business, so you can too. If you want to learn how I did warm outreach in order to get my business from 0 to 6 figs, you can click this video right here, and I'll see you in the next one.